Blessings, 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 everybody. It's your boy, Priest King Tony. I'm back. We're gonna talk some NBA basketball, talk what's going on so far in these conference finals, getting closer and closer to the real finals where, the championship will be decided, but it's a lot to talk about still. A lot of drama going on, a lot of interesting topics around the league, a lot of interesting topics just going on regarding the last four teams that's left. So first of all, I want to say RIP Jim Brown, legend, activist. He expanded his career into movies and all that. So I want to make sure, that I gave him a shout out, send my RIP out for him because Jim Brown is one of those great black figures. So I want to make sure he on the show we acknowledge, his passing, his going on. Of course, our prayers is out to his family and anybody that's bereaved by his passing. All right. So you see the title of this blog, whatever you want to call it. Basketball reasons, baby. Everybody was talking. NBA want to see Lakers Celtics. NBA want to see Lakers Celtics, man. I don't know, man. They're going to have to step in. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to make some decisions, put some calls in. They're going to have to get in touch with the right people, get in touch with the right refs, have the right refs on standby. You reffing every game. The other refs ain't getting it done. Every game, you out there now, buddy. Every game, we need you. They got to call in the ref specialist, baby. We need you every game now. We try to let him go out there. He ain't calling enough fouls, man. He being bashful about it. We don't care if it's obvious. We got the Warriors out of here. Nah, let me stop, man, because y'all know I get into my bias bag, man, and it don't even matter no more at that point. We might end up seeing Heat Nuggets now, man. It might be Heat Nuggets. And that's probably Adam Silver's worst nightmare. The Nuggets already talking about how nobody watch them. They're a small market team. I guess the Heat would be a medium market team. I really don't know what tier they market is considered to be, but I don't remember the Heat just having a lot of nationally televised games because the Lakers and the Celtics gonna be on TV whether they trash or not. They gonna be there. The Knicks gonna be there whether they trash or not. The Warriors, the seasons when they was down after they started winning championships, they was on there trash or not. So right now we trending towards Heat Nuggets. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the series pay off, man. But we're gonna get into these series, man. We're gonna start off, of course, Lakers Nuggets, man. Right now, Nuggets up 2-0. Of course, I picked Nuggets in 7. We see Nuggets is they won the first game, 132-126. That's the game when they was blowing them out. The Lakers made the furious comeback, and then all the people who's Lakers fans / LeBron James fans / they just rooting for the Lakers to win it fans / whatever. They like Jack Nicholson movies fans, whatever. They started saying, you start hearing it. Oh, they figured something out, baby. They figured something out. They figured something out, man. They was looking good at first. Lakers got back in the game and figured it out. The series over now. It's over. They know what to do. They know how to defend them. It's over with. And I'm looking at the game like, you got 40 out of AD. You wasted a good AD game because we know every other Davis, man. Every other game is when he gonna play good. And he's playing. He dropped 40. He played really well, although we're going to get into it. Jokic was kind of giving them their work, but he was giving Jokic their work too. But they really wasted a good AD game. And then we come back and we see in game 2 that it was true. It really was true. You got so AD. So there. AD. JD need to sign you. Go ahead, put your album out because you so. This game, AD was not there for the majority of the game. His numbers look inflated because of the free throws, of course. Wink, wink. You playing every game. You reffing every game. But free throws made, the game look closer. Made his numbers look better than what they really was for that game. But Now we just get into it now. Like, man, what's the Lakers plan? You know, of course, you say they did what they were supposed to do, right? They won their 2 home games. That's all they supposed to do. That's why it's set up how it is. If you have home court advantage, you win your home games and you win a series. You know, a lot of people say, well, the series don't start till a team win a game on the road. So, you know, we don't want to overreact because the Lakers can very possibly win they 2 at home and then it becomes a best of 3. We saw it actually in the last series where the Nuggets was up 2-0. They won both of their home games. Phoenix was able to win 2 games. But. The difference is KD and Booker had to drop 80 points combined to sniff out wins. They was barely wins. They wasn't even blowing them out. They was barely getting the dubs in the end. And they was dropping 80 between the 2 of them. So can we count on that performance from AD and Bron? Can we count on AD giving us 40 and Bron giving us 40? You know, we saw Bron do it with Kyrie. We saw them, you know, do it, but it's not an easy feat. You know, it's not like it's just an easy thing to do. So the Lakers got, you know, they got it. Whatever they thought they had figured out, they better figure out something else because the Nuggets even said it, you know, after game 1, you know, it was a lot of talk that they figured something out and the Nuggets was like, there's not nothing new to them. People always go to that adjustment, you know, and they just didn't execute well or they just wasn't ready for it as much as they didn't prepare for it, but they do have an answer for it. And it seemed like in game 2, for the most part, the Lakers did have them on wraps. The Lakers had to lead for a large majority of the game, but the Nuggets just persevered. You know, they went on a run in the 4th. Jamal Murray dropped 20 plus in the 4th. They hit 5 threes in a row. The Nuggets was able to prevail. So now as the series shifts back to LA, they bringing Jack Nicholson out game 3. Like, you know, Jack Nicholson is the trump card, man. They bringing Jack Nicholson out game 3. What's the move, man? Because what's the adjustments? That's the adjustment. You got to bring Jack Nicholson out. Denzel for sure got to be there. You want Chris Rock there, try to make Jokic laugh. What's the plan? You know, and it's funny because the Nuggets talked about so much how even when they win, you know, it's always about what the other team didn't do. They not getting enough credit. They not, you know, they talking spicy. You know, Mike Malone was like, yeah, y'all was saying all this. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Jamal Murray saying he ain't getting his respect, but he gonna get his respect when he get him a chip. That's what I'm talking about, Jamal. That's how you talk. That's how you talk. Now Julius Randle talking about they might want it more than us. No, baby. We about to go get this chip. Then y'all gonna respect us. Y'all keep on hating. Y'all keep on downplaying us, all that. But when we get this chip, though, then y'all gonna know what the real is. So I talked earlier, you know, the Jokic and AD matchup is what was the prime billing, right? Of course, LeBron is a huge name, he's an international star, but the prime billing was the battle of the big man, Jokic and AD. Right now, the score is 2 to Jokic, 1 to AD. Both of them went off game 1, so I got to give both of them, you know, the seal of approval for game 1. But I will say, though, in that first half of game 1,
crazy work.
Jokic was giving AD that
crazy work.
Now AD ended up, you know, in that second half, he ended up dropping 40. You know, he did his thing. AD was keeping up, but it was painfully obvious. He was keeping up scoring wise, but Jokic almost had a triple double at halftime. He had 13 boards, something crazy. Like he was going off. He had 10 boards. He had a double double after the first quarter. So
crazy work.
The crazy work was in effect. So going into game 2, of course the narrative is Anthony Davis gonna give you one good one, one bad one, one good one, one bad one. And the pattern continued. I think he broke the pattern somewhere along the way, but it's more entertaining to say the pattern continues. So Jokic got the better of him game 2. His team was able to prevail. But it's painfully obvious right now that the true difference maker in the series is Jamal Murray. in the previous 2 series the Lakers played in, you had clear number ones, and then it was questionable who the number 2 was. Now it's interesting because in the Memphis series, you know, Ja is technically the number 1, but the games that they won, it really was Desmond Bane was the number 1, and then Ja really came through and he was a solid number 2. Although Ja is a superstar and all that, you know, the game when he went off, they still lost, which was game 1. So I think it was game 1, but whatever it was, whatever game he went off, they still lost. But now you saw in the Warriors series, it really was Curry and the bros. Like, it really at the end of the day, that's what it was. Curry and my partners that they was the ones that had to come hoop. Nobody, it wasn't a definitive number 2. So with AD and Bron having a certain level, even when they not dominating, it's a certain level of having 2 top 75 players playing. So now you get to the point to where now they playing the Nuggets, and it seems to be what the difference is. It's a true number 2. It's a true person who is. If we get that first person to play mediocre, or the first person can even just really go off, they still need that second person to be there. And it seems like Jamal Murray is really being that second person. Now the Lakers is getting key contributions from Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, man, but your boy, man, D'Angelo Russell, man.
Try.
Oh, my Lord. Dennis Schroeder.
Try.
This has been a horrible series for them so far. So they're going to need them guys to step up. But they're going to have to play more closely to how they played in the previous series for them to try to even this series up so they can go back to Denver and it can be a best-of-3 series. But right now, Murray has been the difference maker in this series. The big men have did their part. They showed up for the most part. I mean, AD showed up because it's the AD that we knew he was going to get. You know, it's not a different AD now. This is who he is. He one good game, one bad one, or one mediocre one, whatever you want to call it. So now the series shifts to LA. Darvin Ham gonna have to figure something out, because right now the Nuggets is winning on the court. They winning at the podium. They doing their thing, man. I don't know. They doing their thing, man. I picked Nuggets in 7 because of the respect level I have for LeBron and AD and the way that they have played in the playoffs so far. Even though I think, you know, it's interesting because in different circles, the narrative is different for different people, right? So with the Lakers, people saying, "Oh man, I can't believe they made it to the Western Conference Finals, man. They turned their season around, the trades, this and that, and now they in the Western Conference Finals." But when in inverse situations, like I just say the Warriors, because the Warriors always get critiqued for this. They beat a injured Grizzlies team, and then they beat a Warriors team where only one player was consistently showing up. And then when Wiggins finally did try to show up, he got hurt the last game. So I think if this was the Warriors, they wouldn't be getting praised for it. But, you know, it is what it is, man. LeBron James is the lovable villain, because people love LeBron and people hate Bron, you know. So at some point, the amalgamation just gets to a point to where it's just smooth sailing for him at this point, man. And it's funny seeing them boys flop and you know, not really get the calls. Even though, you know, I'm still watching the free throw disparity, and the free throw disparity, the Nuggets have been able to overcome it because, like I said, they have a true number 1-2 punch who is performing at a 1-2 punch level. So I'm interested to see how does this series continue. You know, Game 3 is tonight. You know, a lot of people was making fun of Bron because Bron said, you know, he stepped on Anthony Davis' foot, but he in the interview he said, I stepped on AG foot, and I'm gonna be ready to play Sunday. And they was like, Bron must got a ankle concussion because they played Saturday and he stepped on AD foot. So we gonna see how the series go, man. It's been interesting, man. It's been funny to watch. It's been some good basketball being played, because even though the Lakers are down 0-2, they haven't just really just gotten blew out over the course of the whole game. You know, of course, game one they was getting blew out, but they came back. I think Darvin Ham is tried to make some good adjustments, and then you've got quality performances out of Austin Reed so far and Rui Hachimura. You expect maybe Dennis Schroeder or D'Angelo Russell, and ideally both of them play better at home. But you seen like he tried to switch it up and have a shooter in the corner so that jokers would have to come out and play in the corner sometimes, you know, to try to free up the paint. You know, it's been stuff that's going on, you know, but when you got LeBron missing fast break dunks, man, how can you overcome it, man? What was LeBron trying to do, man, bro? What you trying to turn the clock back? What you about to do? You about to 360 between the legs? 2 hands for safety, baby. 2 hands for safety. Get your points and come on back, man. Get back on D. But man, it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see how this series is going, man, especially going against all the narratives. And I won't say the predictions because a lot of people predicted the Nuggets to win, but you know, Bron probably has the largest fan base right now in sports, so people want Bron to win, man. People, of course, want the Lakers to win, so we're going to see, man. We're going to see as the series shifts back to LA. It's on the Lakers to do what they're supposed to do, hold down their home court, push it back to 2-2, going back to Denver, man. So now let's get into this next series, man. Heat and the Celtics. Heat and the Celtics, man. Everybody wanted Lakers Celtics in the finals, man. It's looking like Nuggets Heat right now. The Heat won the first game, 123-116. In this game, you know, I kind of looked at it more so as Boston coming off that game 7 is always hard for a team coming off of game 7 to then backdoor and win that game 1, which was really the same thing I said in the Warriors series. But this team, man, this Heat team, man, it's so interesting to watch because they have so many. I think that they have 7 undrafted players on the roster, and they are performing at a high level, man. And they just so well coached. Organizationally, you can tell the organization is run very well to where everybody, it's like a dog factory over there, man. DAWG. Miami is a dog factory. If you didn't have no dog before you got there, you're going to have a dog when you get there. But you stay here long enough, you're going to get some dog in you. And Miami is shown improved, man. Regardless of how they look in the regular season, man, when they get to the playoffs, man, it get real. You know, when it's getting real, Miami is responding to the bell, man. They first at the door when the bell ring because they ready for all of the smoke and they not backing down. And in this series, more than anything, I ain't gonna say more than anything because that's not true. In this series, though, the coaching is a big factor because Spo is really out coaching Joe Mazzulla right now. And it is painfully obvious. Now you saw in the fourth quarter last night, the Heat went to the zone, totally stifled the Celtics offense, and there was no adjustment. The Celtics just they was getting a lot of good actions when they built the lead out of running the pick and roll with Tatum as the ball handler. They was killing. That's how they ended up building the lead, which caused the Heat then to go into the zone. Now you can attack a zone with a pick and roll, but it's tougher than, you know, just getting the ball to the middle. Then you collapse the defense. Then you can get backdoor cuts, or somebody got to collapse and leave a corner shot open, which the Celtics was doing a good job of running those sets to get those good looks or to get looks out of them, but they was not knocking them down. And when a coach can impose his will through the players on another coach like that, it's really jarring because you're like, man, you seen this one adjustment he made and it totally just shut the faucet off for him. Everything stopped for him. Miami was able to go on a huge run, and you kind of see the mindset, right? You see, they asked Joe after the game, or what did you ever think about putting Robert Woods in for Al Horford? Then he says no, because Al Horford always he's always been closing out the games. you cannot have that mindset in the playoffs because it's situationally based on matchups. It's a lot of things that will determine that a change needs to be made. Horford was out there getting cooked for the most part. I mean, Horford was a liability more than he was a help. When he was getting shots, he was bricking for it wasn't like Horford was carrying you or Horford was just playing this big huge role just to say I kept Horford in because Horford is always in closing the games. That's not a good look for a coach, and that just shows how Spo is just out coaching him. There's just another way of seeing how he is just really not responding to the moment, and really you can see throughout the playoffs so far. The losses that they had, even the game where they lost at home to Trae Young, and they had to go back to Atlanta and Tatum ended up apologizing to Janet Jackson and all that, but it was no adjustment he made when Trae Young started going off. They didn't send a trap last night. They didn't send no trap at Jimmy. Jimmy was just cooking Grant Williams, man. But we're gonna talk about that just a little bit further, man. But Spo has totally outcoached this dude, and I don't know, man. Somebody got to be in his ear, but coaches. And coaches sometimes, even with people talking to them and all that, and you say you want people in your corner and all that, coaches at the end of the day, they do stick to their guns a lot of the times. It's good to have advisors and to have, of course, you have assistant coaches and stuff that you trust, but a lot of time a coach is gonna still do what they feel is right at the end of the day. So I don't think nobody is telling Joe, not to make an adjustment or not to do, but I think he just think like we're gonna weather the storm or whatever. But man, Jason Tatum, man, come to the front, man. I want to tell you personally, man, leave Kobe out of it, man. You're not from that cloth. You're not Kobe. You're not at that level. Devin Booker, you too. You at home already. You at Cancun, wherever you at, but you too. Leave Kobe out of it, man. Tatum in the 4 quarters of this series has not cashed in a shot yet. He hit some free throws. He got 5 turnovers and no field goals. Come on, man. You lose 2 at home. Try it. Come on, man. Tatum, leave Kobe out of it, man. I love Tatum game. I think Tatum is I don't want to say a bona fide superstar, but he is in that superstarish tier because Tatum, he does have big time performances. I love the way that he attacks the glass. He's a good defender. He's a good scorer at all 3 levels. But last night, man, I understand they in the zone, but you got to figure it out, man. You got to figure out beyond we just about to pass the ball side to side, get it in the middle. Y'all trying to beat him by the pass, and Jimmy going down there just smacking y'all. He just smacking y'all every play. And it's funny because when they was building the lead up, they talk about don't poke the bear. And Grant Williams had to poke the bear. He tried to walk it back afterwards when they talked to him about it. He's like, I'm not gonna run from it. I respect him as a man and this and that. It's just basketball. You start talking to Jimmy, and then Jimmy had the last word. Jimmy had the last word, man. Give me some, Jimmy. Hey. Come on, Jimmy. Jimmy wanted more, man. You gave Jimmy a little smoke, and then Jimmy said, hey, Jimmy won't more. Jimmy wanted all the smoke, and he responded. Jimmy, after that, they showed the replay. Grant Williams in Jimmy's face. Jimmy started laughing, smiling. He smirked at him. After that, Jimmy just started going at this man's neck. Play out the play. He hit him with the "you too little" celebration. Then he talking to the bench. He can't hold me. Why do y'all think he can hold me? All this. Jimmy is going off, and they not making no adjustments, man. Jimmy was just murdering these people. Jimmy is, somebody said, I saw somebody ask the question, is this what it was like to see prime Jordan as it was unfolding? Now, of course, I don't agree with that. Jordan is in another tier of itself, but this man, Jimmy, is hooping though. Like, I didn't see prime Jordan, so maybe somebody who saw both can kind of speak to it. But this man is out there killing boys, and I love it because it's colder when you talk and you back it up. A lot of people play a false humility role to where they'll start talking once they win, or as it's going on, they're trying to be humble and not poke the bear, as so to speak, so that they don't get the opponent mad and this and that. But I like when boys are saying, we about to win this chip and we don't care, like Jimmy said, we don't care who the media picking. It's our year. It's our year. We about to go get it. And I love that, man. I love that competitiveness. I love the talk of it. I love the trash talk of it. Man, I know Greg Williams didn't look nobody in the eyes in the locker room last night. Cause they was like, man, we was up. We was killing these boys. You had to say something to Jimmy. And then after that, they just went off. Bam, of course, played his role. I think one thing that really was key, and it speaks to the mindset of both of these teams too, is the Heat late in the game, they was up 2. And Jimmy had been cooking every time down. And you saw Gabe Vincent, 10 on the shot clock, step back, 2-pointer. It's not a miraculous shot. It's not a 3-point dagger or nothing like that. But the mindset of him to not just say, we're gonna get the ball to Jimmy no matter what, let Jimmy do something with it. He had a shot, he had a matchup that was favorable to him. It was plenty of time on the clock still for them to get the ball to Jimmy, but he made something happen with it to extend the lead for his team. And I think that's empowerment of coaching. That's belief in self, because a lot of these guys on this team is not really outcasts, but I guess you could say that because they wasn't drafted. They came on this team, and Miami has cultivated these boys, and these boys is performing at a high level, and now they 2 games away from going to the finals. I picked Celtics in 7 in this series, but I don't know, man. It ain't looking too good because Jimmy been to the finals, man, and Chris Paul said he had the addiction, but Jimmy looking like he the more addicted one right now. Jimmy looking juiced up or something. I don't know. Jimmy out there balling, man. I love to see it, man. I'm excited to see how the rest of these games play out. At this point, man, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see Nuggets and Heat. The Nuggets and Heat are playing at a high level to where, what is this gonna look like when they play each other? Who's gonna falter? Who's gonna be they too tired and all of that? I don't know, man. But Celtics got a lot to figure out. They went down 0-2 at home, so now they have to go on the road and try to avoid being swept. Miami is a great home team. Obviously, is a great road team. So we're gonna see what goes on, man. What happens in game 3 and 4? Does Joe finally make an adjustment that's gonna get them a win? Like, what's the answer for when Spo start tightening the screws? What Joe gonna do? What's Joe gonna do when Spo come for you? Man, we gonna see how this plays out, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, man. We're gonna continually keep pushing out this content, man. Continually keep talking. One of my friends said, man, after this you can talk about the WNBA, and y'all already know, man. No disrespect. No disrespect, as they say. Respectfully. We ain't watching the WNBA, man. I'm sorry. Until they get a girl out there yamming, I don't agree with the transgenders being able to play in the other people's sports, but maybe they need Joanna, man. I don't know. With that being said, man, I'm kind of giving up on my picks, man. Nuggets in 7, Celtics in 7. It'd probably be Nuggets in 5 at this point, you know. Anthony Davis, Viola Davis, Davis in the Sunshine Band, whatever you want to say. Any Davis. Any Davis of the week. Terrence Davis, Nuggets in 5. And the Celtics looking down. The Celtics might get swept. So we gonna see, man. Game 3 tonight, pivotal games in both series. What versions of their best players is gonna show up? Who's gonna get it done, man? Like, comment, subscribe, man. Priest King Tony, I'm out. Shalom.